We all want to go in the same direction. We all want to be through this. We all want to be done. I think that's one thing we have all in common. However, it's a little bit early. It's a little bit early for people who are children, for people who are vulnerable because of being older or having comorbidities. So I think we're jumping the gun a bit. It's a lesson we haven't learned in Ontario very well, and elsewhere, I suppose. You've got to be cautious. We seem to be moving toward a do-it-yourself public health phase in the pandemic now, and maybe that's inevitable. But what's missing is equipping people actually with the knowledge that they need to be able to do that. And I'm saying specifically, we haven't really said to the public, it's airborne. A lot of people know that, but it hasn't been said by government. And therefore, we haven't been told that we should be getting ourselves N95 masks. That's the one piece of personal protective equipment that you can put on that makes you relatively impervious to what people are doing around you. And we just haven't had that public education. We also haven't had any mandating of indoor air quality standards. So we're not building any resilience for a future variant or for a future pathogen. So we're kind of left, it's not only everyone for themselves, but it's everyone for themselves without the benefit of actually being told how to fend for ourselves. In Ontario, COVID has been managed like a political problem from the beginning, which is to say, do as little as possible not to upset people. And then when there's a catastrophe, to react in a way that's only partially effective because you left it so late and blame it on the virus. So it's if we were managing this like a public health problem, we would have taken early action. We would have avoided a lot of suffering. We wouldn't have been locked down nearly as much. So ironically, making political decisions makes the outcomes worse. And I think that's what's happening again, yes. There's a subvariant of Omicron that's bouncing around that may come this way. We probably expect it to. And if we are walking away from restrictions, we're really going to make things a little bit worse for us. Not catastrophically worse, but needlessly worse. Well, diseases move in waves regardless of what we do. And so Omicron has come, it has peaked, it's on its way down. There's likely to be a hump before it continues to go down just because of the Omicron subvariant while we're releasing restrictions. But the overall pressure is going to be downward. The question is what happens next? Is there going to be another variant? If we're not requiring vaccination, we can expect vaccination rates to fall right off. That's a problem. There's no question that's a problem. The public hasn't been hearing loud enough that third shot is important. They haven't been hearing loud enough about the risks to children 5 to 11 of not being vaccinated. So these are things that public education hasn't done nearly as much with. And if we're messaging to people we don't need vaccination anymore, what we're really saying is don't bother. And I think that's harmful.